Howdy and welcome. I'm Mike, your board gaming every dude. I saw a great feature on a channel that you should check out, One Stop Co-op Shop, and they have something called Shelf Life, where they review games that they've covered in the past to see whether or not they kept them in their collection. I'd like to do the same type of thing. We're going to call it Should I Play or Should It Go? So let's check out some games that I talked about in October. Let's start out with Bruxelles 1897. This was a modular board card game where you lay out a bunch of cards and basically you get to be an architect. This didn't come with a solo mode, so I created one. If you'd like to see it, I'll put it in the description below. I really enjoyed this, played it about 10 times or so, but it is going to be leaving my collection. I'll be putting it up for trade just because I've gotten my fill of it, so the charm of it really has worn off. I enjoy the artwork, but there is a bit of setup time really for a card game like this that I've just lost patience for. I still recommend it. It's a very enjoyable game, even solo. And there's another solo variant that's called the Nobles, I believe, that you can get on Board Game Geek as well. That's enjoyable, but I'm just not going to play it again. So going up for trade. I also covered Taco Bell Party Pack, the card game. Now this, at least for me, I would think would be in and out. It's a party game. It's super easy, crazy light. You can play it in 10 to 15 minutes. It doesn't come with a solo mode, so I made a very simple one. And same thing with this. If you would like to play this solo, just check out my video. I'll put it in the description below so you can try it out. However, this is staying on my shelf and I don't think it's going anywhere. Because one, I do enjoy playing it solo. It's very quick setup, 10 minutes. But it's also a party game that I can whip out for people that are new to board games and card games like this, where there's no real pressure. It's super silly, but there's still strategy. Teach it in 2 minutes. This is staying. It's not going anywhere. Wouldn't have expected that. I also covered Lost Ruins of Arnak. Now you'll see I didn't bring the box out. That's because I traded it. People love Lost Ruins of Arnak. Look, this is a fantastic game. It combines so many different game mechanics. I played it with my foster son. He's 14 years old, and he learned it quickly. He enjoyed it. We played at least 3 games. I think he won one of them. There's 2 sides to the board, multiple difficulty levels. I should have loved it. I've played it around 10 times probably. I don't know why, and I don't know what reason to give other than I know I'll never get it to the table again. And this is when I knew that the new expansion that added new elements, new characters, special asynchronous abilities, I believe, that people are raving about, that came out. I could have bought it, but I'm just not interested. It's a great game. I'm glad I played it. I don't need it in my collection. If people ask me to play it, I'll play it with them. I'm not going to seek it out. I don't look forward to it. Lost Ruins of Arnak is out. If you enjoy this feature, please let me know by giving me a like. That lets me know what to continue doing. We also talked about Obsession, which has just had a reprint. So a lot of new people have it in their library. That's super exciting to me. Obsession, with all of the expansions, so we've got the useful box that I got, and this is not actually an expansion. It's, what is he called? A Dan Halligan contraption. It just corrects a few minor errors that there were in earlier prints for the people that owned the older edition. If you just got the most recent reprint, you don't need the useful box. But I've got the Wessex expansion that introduces the Wessex house. I've got the upstairs, downstairs, which is an essential expansion for this game. It totally just elevates the level of play by adding new servants and new rooms. But the upstairs, downstairs of the new servants is just so cool. And then, of course, I've got it all packed into this one box. And if you have trouble packing all these expansions in one box, Dan Halligan has a solution on his channel. You can also check out my solution in the description below for how I have packed it. His is probably better. I don't know. I haven't checked it out yet, but I have a way. Anyway, Obsession, this is never leaving my collection. This is one of the most precious, unique games that truly takes your Downton Abbey, your upstairs, downstairs, your Pride and Prejudice, your the Brontes, and puts them in a board game where you are collecting these cards of guests that are working with servants to upgrade your estate in order to make it the most appealing to suitors, to the most appealing suitors in the area and then like win the win the not war, but win the competition at courtship events to get the marriage in the end. I know it sounds like a lot. Here's the thing. This is I would say, a medium to heavy game. This is not for your first game to learn. However, I taught this to my sister, who was new to this type of board gaming, and she learned it no problem. And I think it's because the theme and the cohesion of the mechanics is done so well that if somebody teaches it to you, you can pick it up and you can play it. The challenge is going through the rule book. It's very well written, but it's very thorough, more thorough than it needs to be, and it can overwhelm you if you're not someone who really enjoys reading rule books and learning new games. So if that's the case, just watch a video on how to play. There are plenty out there. I've got one. I'm not going to recommend it because I don't think I did as good as others do, but still, you're welcome to check it out. Obsession is never leaving. Ever. Ever. All right. And the last one that we talked about in October was On Mars. Can I fit over it? Maybe I'll talk right here. No. All right. So we've got On Mars. On Mars is a heavy game. It is the heaviest game I've ever played. Well, no. I'm play testing a game with Julian Pombo that might be heavier. Possibly. We'll see what the final product looks like. But On Mars is heavy. And this is staying in my collection. This is an expensive game. This is over $100 for this. It is a long setup time. It is a lot of learning. You're going to watch videos. You're going to read the rule book. If you are learning to play this solo, you are investing time. Give yourself 1 to 2 weeks, 2 weeks, realistically, to learn this game and get a few plays in before you actually truly understand the feel. The solo opponent, I'll admit, is flawed. Even the original designer of the solo mode, who had to leave the project in order to pursue another one, so someone else finished it halfway through. But anyway, it's flawed, okay? The opponent can occasionally require you to think for the solo opponent. That's always bad. However, you know what? I was just like, whatever. I'm just going to randomly pick a choice and not stress about it. And that fixed it. It was fine. I've also played this 4-player, and I loved it. I actually like it better solo, but the 4-player was fantastic, where you're all working together. If you're working with 4 players, even if you're working with the solo opponent, basically you are working together to build up a colony on Mars, but you are just trying to take the most credit for it by contributing the most. You win by gaining the most points, just like every other game featured here for this round. I do play games that don't require you to get all victory points, but that's what this is. On Mars is staying. This is my heaviest game, and it's my favorite heavy game. This is art. I have played other games by the designer, Vital Lacerda. I enjoy them. I've played The Gallerist. I don't like it as much as this. So, On Mars is absolutely staying. All right, thank you so much for sticking around through this. Be sure to check out this next playlist of other games that you might like. I love you all. See you next time.